Hello world, WayofTime here, bringing to you another episode of EEPower. So I've been attempting to go through this mining ritual steadily, and one of the small annoyances that I'm having with it, other than the fact that there's so much of it, is that there's actually so little of what I actually need in this system. Unfortunately, I didn't get a single diamond out of all the 3 mining ritual operations, although I pretty much vacated the entire ore in this area for my own benefits. Now, it's good that I got all the ore. It's bad that I didn't get any diamonds out of it, because I'm going to need to soon find out where all the Endermen are and stop them from giving me presents. Good golly, good sir, it's getting annoying. Okay, so what I want to do today is start an Applied Energistics 2 system. However, I am going to unfortunately need to destroy many plants in the process because I am a derp with the air sigil, or rather the ceiling lip that I decided to put in my base. I mean, come on. So there's a few things that I'm going to need for Applied Energistics. Might as well get this all the way at Applied Energistics, because that might be a necessary thing. Hello? Man, this NEI, I swear, this glitch has been around for so long. I have no clue why it's still around, but whatever. It just seems like it just doesn't work all the time. Slightly aggressive, but okay. So I'm going to need a diamond pickaxe. I think I have a diamond pickaxe somewhere. However, if I don't, I'm going to need to go find diamonds again through some sort of method. Now, I do have charged Certus quartz. That is good. What I don't have is the diamonds, which would be a little helpful, or the diamond pickaxe. I don't even know where that's gone. It's not like I can power wrench my way through any sort of meteors, so I'm going to have to find some way to get my diamond pickaxe. There we go. It's a good thing that I actually kept you somewhere safe, or else this would get annoying. Now, for good or for bad, Applied Energistics 2 has an interesting way to start. The lore in Applied Energistics is that the initial tech that you get is from aliens in outer space deciding that they are going to be best of pals and make sure that you have to have diamonds to be able to mine your way into awesomeness. But basically, asteroids, meteors, whatever the heck these things are, come bearing gifts of inscribed calculation processes. Basically, a bunch of calculation or chipset plates. There we go. This sky chest takes a long time. Now, unfortunately, they have forgotten their manners and have decided to put them in a bunch of different asteroids/meteors when they send them to your nice godforsaken area that you have ordained to call your home. So you are going to have to find a bunch of them in the world. Now, thankfully, I have 2 nearby. I think I remember where a third is, but you need 4 scribing plates in total. And as you can see, I only have 2 of them. Now, if we check the uses for these, you can see you can copy them to make another plate. That's not what we're going to want, but you can also use them for, in this case, use silicon to make a printed silicon. And this one, if we use it, we can use pure Certus quartz to get a printed calculation circuit, and these can further be used in other things. However, we are going to need a few more things to be able to even think of doing Applied Energistics 2. We're going to need the other presses, so if we search for press, we can find a lot of bad press in this. Wow, pressure plates, a bunch of presses. Silicon presses obviously are not what we want, but there are 4 in total. 5, apparently. I don't know where the inscriber nearing press comes from. We have the inscriber silicon press, which is for silicon. We have the inscribed logic press, which uses gold. We have the engineering press, which uses diamond or industrial diamond. And we have the calculation press, which uses the calculations things. Now, unfortunately, I only have those 2 meteors, so we're actually going to have to find things. I'm thinking that I'm going to want to increase my LP reserves. Thankfully, we do have a nice cow farm that has not exactly went according to plan, apparently. I'm going to need to fix this. Oh well, I'll fix this and we'll try to find some meteors, shall we? Yes. Yeah, I think this process is a bit more humane, so to speak. Well, obviously not humane in the sense for the cows, but humane in the sense for everybody else's ears. Just have to slap them a bit, and it seems that we are getting enough LP in our network to keep us going for a bit. Now, this hopper might be in an unfortunate location because their meat decides to fly everywhere, but not something that we can really focus on now. Let's just kill those. That definitely should be enough for our exploratory and not so exploratory missions. Get out of here! Meat everywhere. Meat, leather, bones, gristle, and all the fun stuff. So we're going to need one particular device to be able to send us to our otherworldly destinations, and that is going to be a compass. No, not the regular Minecraft compass. We have to get a meteorite compass, which requires a charged Certus quartz, which I know we have somewhere, and a bit of iron. So take our charged Certus quartz, iron, and we get a meteorite compass. There we go. So it points us, as the name indicates, to the nearest meteorite. So they're meteorites, not asteroids. Always a good thing to know. However, we have already discovered that one over there, and it won't do us any good to go back there, because quite frankly, we don't need anything else over there. Now, one thing that would be helpful is to figure out how this thing operates. Now, this thing operates quite easily enough. It will point you, as it says, to the nearest meteorite, and it'll basically point to the chunk that it is in. So if we were to take a flyby over there, after wasting a bit of LP, you can see that when we actually get here, it'll start spinning wildly. However, there's some interesting mechanics that this thing actually follows. What it does is, instead of searching for the chunk, it searches for the meteorite blocks. So if you actually have a meteorite block in your base, the meteorite compass will point towards that. So the charged Certus quartz was charged from the impact process and now forever points towards one of those meteorites. Okay, so obviously it detects the one over there, which means we're going to want to go to a different location. So if I were to, say, want to go to the next meteorite on the destination, I'm going to have to dig out the entirety of that meteorite to be able to find it otherwise. However, it seems there is one over in this direction. Ah, here we go. Right over here. And where's the center of it? The center is right down here. I got a bit of air for my efforts. Air for effort, good sir. Air for effort. And should be down here. Let's point that, and you can see that it's spinning wildly. Now we got our inscriber, we got a logic. And that, let's see, this is gold. So we are able to continue with just this. However, we are going to need a bit more than what we have right now, because frankly, that diamond one is going to be helpful. Not sure what I'm going to do with mundane rings. However, I suppose they're not going to hurt, really. So we're going to need to continue looking, unfortunately, for the other goodies. Maybe hopefully find some diamonds while we're on our trek for awesomeness. However, I doubt that is going to be the case. So I'll burn a bit of my LP flying around and hopefully find something a bit better. Pirate ship! Which does not sound like it's in a happy state of mind. Okay, Smite 5 is definitely going to be... Hi there! I am WayofTime. I am here to be your guest this spooky evening. Yeah, you. I have some death for you. Oh, yes, I got some death for you, too. Oh, how about that? Something for you too. Wow, that's a lot of freaking spawners. Okay. Here. Whoa. Get away. Do we have some more up here? I guess we do. Whew. This is a ghost ship. Wow. It's actually quite a lot of these suckers here. These spawners, rather. So what am I gonna do with you all? Might as well throw you out the window. I suppose I could have a secondary altar here. Like some altar that's constantly getting fed by all these spawners, because that's 5 decent spawners. However, I would have to be near it for it to operate, but it is something to think of later on. Oh, well, let's continue onwards. Okay, let's see what we have here. We have another meteorite that has decided to call this place home. It'd be lovely if I had a bound pickaxe, however, that is definitely not in my repertoire this early in the game. Okay, come on, come on, come on, come on! Inscribe engineer. Okay, this is the last one that we needed, and we also have some lead nuggets. Not exactly the most useful thing in the world, and I think because of that, we are done here. Okay, so I'm going to start making my way home, and if ever I run out of clay, which isn't going to be happening anytime soon, I can always come here. Nice little mesa biome. Nice. Dang it, Moses, why are you in my game again? Okay, I have no idea how. However, it seems that my press has vanished. I just logged off quickly to do something else, and then I log back in and find that, hey, one of my presses have been caboodled, which is not a very fun thing, let me tell you. Okay, got my silicon, I have my inscriber and, engineering and logic, and need my calculation. So unless I put it in some sort of weird location, I just for some reason lost it. Okay, so back to recipe mode. We are going to need to start on the bare essentials required for all of this. So if we check the uses for this, we need an inscriber. Inscriber is an easy enough thing to do. I mean, all it requires is sticky pistons, but it also needs a pure fluix crystal. Now, pure fluix crystal is easy enough to obtain. However, what we're going to need is a charger to make things a bit better for us in the long run. So what I want to do is get a bit of redstone, and we're probably going to, let's use all of these, might as well in this process, since it is going to be something that we are going to repeat multiple times soon, and for some reason I do not have any of my redstone. Well, for some reason I do not have any of my redstone here. Well, the reason is kind of obvious, frankly. So let's go over to the water pool. Drop, 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 and by combining in a water pool quartz, redstone, and charged surface quartz, we can get a bunch of fluix crystals, and these fluix crystals are used for pretty much everything in the mod. So we need 2 of them and quite a bit of iron. I think I'll get basically all of my iron there ready to go, and we need to combine them to a charger. And So we're probably going to need to go to our workshop to be able to do a lot more. So let's grab some of the required things that I'm going to want. I'm going to also want to probably melt down some of this stuff in the interim while I am working. So let's find a nice temporary location at least to put this thing. Maybe we can put it here for now. And we need Certus, and I think we need a few more power cords. So I think I'm gonna route a power cord down here, and then we can have a small subsystem to work with. Actually, what's back here? Ah, yes, that's why I don't want to expand that direction. So I'll just put the stuff down here. So conduits down here. So you can have a nice small system over here. And I think applied energistics does... no, I don't think we want it there. Can we put it in a bit better of a location? We can knock one of these torches down. Yes, let's bring it down this way so that it can at least be with the floor once we knock a bit more of our dirt down. I'm thinking we'll eventually want to move all this stuff into our base in a dedicated area. However, this right now serves our purpose, so might as well keep using it for now. There we go. We have a few spare, and then we can work on all the gimmicks later on. Okay, so we have a charger here, probably wondering what we do with it. If we put regular Certus quartz in it, you can see it contains Certus quartz crystal. Then you can see it now contains a charged one. So this can charge up a Certus quartz crystal into its charged variety after a bit of time. Ha! There we go. And when I say a bit of time, I mean kind of a lot of time. So we'll probably not actually want our applied energistics system here because it will get clunky. However, we do need to have it next to a power source of some kind. So maybe what we could do is have a temporary applied energistics. This thing doesn't really need to be here anymore. So what I think I'll do is have my scribing tools up here. I'll have my scribing tools up here in some sort of configuration. It'll be different from what we originally planned for this area. However, it will probably be sufficient in all that we need. We do need to have energy, however, to flow in this direction. We might want to have... No, actually, we can probably directly pull... Yes, we can directly pull with those conduits. I keep forgetting myself there. So that's good, and we can probably directly insert there as well if we so ordained. However, we might want to wait a while before we think about automated processes. Okay, without further ado, let's actually get started. So we have a method for getting charged Certus quartz. That's good, but not going to be our ultimate goal of our endeavors today. What we're going to want is, now if we check the uses of this, we can see several uses. However, one of them is Certus quartz dust. If we use Certus quartz dust, we can get Certus quartz seeds. These will make purified Certus quartz at a long growth time inside water. We're going to need growth accelerators to actually help with that, and growth accelerators are an easy enough thing. Look at how much that requires. Easy enough thing, although it is a bit pricey to make. Something, well, pricey in terms of that as well as energy. Eventually we'll need a better energy system. Maybe when we power it off a well of suffering, that might be well and good, however, not right now. So we need to focus on getting 4 inscribers, I think. So inscribers, if we check, inscribers are easy enough. Well, it needs sticky pistons. We don't have the stickiness we need natively. However, we can get a few slime balls from up there. In fact, that's what I'm gonna go do right now, though it might take a bit of waiting. Maybe not as much. Come here. Great. A flying slime. I can honestly say that I do not see that every day. Now that I think of it, what is this? Congealed slime. Oh, perfect! That actually makes things a bit easier. Now we can actually, if we so choose, grow this congealed slime with those trees, and that'll be a bit easier. Okay, so not a complete waste of time. And there we go. Okay, so we needed 4 inscribers. That's going to require a few of these sticky pistons, going to require fluix, and basically iron everywhere else. So that gets our inscribers. And we're going to need a few things to automate it. However, we can focus on that little mystery later on. Let's see what's required. we are going to need a spider to stop being a jerk bag. Okay, let's actually focus on what we need. Need a bit more space, I think. Do we need this? Really? Do we need the sag mill anymore? I don't think so. So I'll get this out of the way. And this, and that basically opens up quite a bit more room for us. And let's see. So let's place one of them here to see what interface we have. So we have an in, and another thing here. And basically, we want to put something in and it'll get pulled out. So one of the things is we need to put gold, for instance, in with one of our plates. It's logic, right? Yes, logic plate. So if we put our logic plate in and find a way to funnel gold in there, we should automatically get the stuff out that we need. But we're obviously going to need a few interim steps before that happens. So let's make 2 hoppers, at least to get our stuff planned out. So 1 hopper here, and attempt to feed 1 bit of gold in there. We can see that we do have gold there. Let's see, that's obviously the wrong one. There we go. And now it's pressing, going through all the additive stuff, and then bam, got the printed logic circuit. Now we need to bring this into a location where we can easily access it. And we can probably just add this to our green. And there. Let's see what we get out of here. So this should throw it in our green chest, and we can see we got a printed logic circuit. So we can eventually have applied energistics feed into there. We could maybe have one big conduit go out into our main base, into our main applied energistics system, or we could have a subsystem so that it goes there. Now, I know there's something called peer-to-peer tunnels. However, I'm going to need to figure out how to actually make these. Obviously, it doesn't seem like they are craftable. Well, these aren't craftable. However, the regular one, the ME one, is with engineering process, which is the diamond. Something we're going to have to look in later. So we can put 2 there. For symmetry, we can put 2 there. And then have it so that we have signs so we know what it's needed. Good. Now, this thing's good and everything. I mean, it does its job. I mean, you manually put some stuff in and you get some stuff out. That's not really good enough for me because, frankly, we are not getting us our end result. We're just going to get a bunch of printed logic stuff spewed out the other end, and it's not going to solve any of our problems, quite frankly. So we are going to need something a bit more dramatic than that. Apparently you do not smelt? Smelt! Come on! Smelt it! Isn't it he who smelt it dealt it? Come on. I'm pretty sure... No, wait. Okay, how do you make silicon then? Or do I have to use the Ender I probably have to use the Ender IO type of silicon. Okay, so that has changed. I'll have to look into that. But anyways, case in point, we need to use silicon. Okay, let's just check. Okay, I do need to use the Ender IO stuff. That is interesting. So I'll need to develop a system to make the Ender IO silicon before I can even think about doing that. Anyways, I'm getting a bit off topic here, aren't I? Let's make... pretty much make the entire amount again. We're going to need a bit more of that charged Certus. However, that's easy enough to do. And then we can go on to the real things. Now, what I want to do is basically be able to put all the gold silicon, the Ender IO silicon stuff, and etc., and then have it automatically make this stuff. So what I'm thinking is we'll need to make a machine of some description to do that. Now, it's self-contained, and I don't think well, it's going to be self-contained, and I don't think there's going to be any more uses for any of the other stuff. So I think if we give enough bulk, come on, charge up! Charge up, charge up. There we go. If you give enough of a bulk, it should be good enough for us. So, yeah, let's actually get some of the stuff that we are going to need. We're going to need a few filters. We're also going to need a few of the conduits. Then we'll get onwards to the meat of this. Yes, meat. Lots of meat. Okay, this is going to require us to be really creative with the space. Since we only have so much of it, we might in fact have to also go into our ground to do all this. So we're also probably going to need to use this as well because we're going to have a bunch of things happening all at once, and it's going to be, actually, we won't need this and we won't need this, but we will need some of this. So we're going to try to automatically create all three types of circuits that we will need. That means we will need a total of 3 more of those things that we were doing before. And let's just be inefficient with our recipes, because why not? I'm probably being horrible with it. Yep, there we go. Okay. Drop everything, pick everything up, rotate everything, and okay, so we're going to need a few things. Obviously, our automatic siphoning out of it will take as the back part, and we'll... Oh, yes. So I put a thing there. You don't need to bother looking at it. Okay, so scribing machine, scribing machine, scribing machine. And how are we going to do it? So we need an input to go in. We need an input here and an input here. So what we're going to mainly need to do is figure out where the hoppers send stuff in. So we need to make a hopper as our test device. In fact, we might as well make a few hoppers since we're going to need them for filters anyways. So place one of these down, place a filter down, hopper rather, and place this here, or place something that actually goes somewhere. So that doesn't go there, obviously, but if we were to put some sort of circuit, we'd be able to put something there, right? So take that, there. So the top is for the top, the side for the side, and then bottom and back might be for taking the stuff out of. So we're going to have to test that. So check that. Extract automatically. And then we're going to need to test the extraction by probably throwing a bunch of the stuff away that we don't need, grabbing one of these, and throwing these in. So that and that. And it's extracted. Okay, so the back does act as a proper extraction point. However, I don't think the front... And that's the wrong location. I don't think the front acts as an insertion point in any sense of the word. It might act as our center slot, though, which it does. So the front is going to be our center slot, and the two sides are going to be the things that we're going to input. So this side will need to be our silicon, and this side will need to be our chips. So these we have no choice in the matter. We're going to just basically pile everything in. These we're going to need to have redstone only. These we're going to need silicon only. So we can probably do something similar to that. I figure it'd be a stupid move to have a dedicated chest for redstone, because that would fill up and it's a resource we are mightily lacking. So what I think we're going to do is have a bunch of separate filters. Although it might be expensive material cost wise, it will be better in our long run. So we're going to need 3 filters plus 3 plus 1, or actually we'll probably only need that. So let's get that. And I'll show you why in a second. We're going to need a bunch of these filters. So 6 filters, there we go. And then we're probably going to need to have filters for that, but let's not even worry about that for now. Anyway, so wrench, got item ducts. We can move that out of the way. So put these here, put these here, and put these here. Now these are going to be our silicon, because that is what we need. However, this brown line we are no longer using. Actually, we are using that brown line, aren't we? So we can't do what I was thinking. However, what we can do is do a reciprocal system over here using one of our thingy-mabobbers, very technical terms, so bear with me. Thingy-mabobbers, we're going to need to use a dedicated, so insert, let's go lime for our silicon. So we're going to insert on the lime line and make sure that nothing actually gets taken there. And all of these are going to be insert to the lime line. Sorry, going to need to insert from the green line and export on the lime line. So lime going to be export. We'll have it red robin, and we don't need a filter there. However, we do need a filter here, and for input we're going to need to get our silicon. However, we don't have a, well, we do have some silicon. Okay, so we need to just throw, let's say, those in there. That'll automatically be processed into our silicon chips. There we go, our backings. And then we'll use this as our in-out insert, match metadata, and it'll be whitelist only. And we'll change this to green so that all of these go into here since they'll have no other use. And then we'll insert lime here. So insert lime. I wonder how gunpowder is actually used. That'd be an interesting thing. Okay, let's insert lime a bit more. Dang it. Yes, I can right-click back. And then insert again. There we go. Making sure, got a bit of cobblestone, so it seems like it's a force insertion, which is never good. Come on, you gotta be nice to the people. And that's a horrible joke, and I almost immediately regret it. Almost. So we have the silicon in each and every single one, as we can see. However, we are putting it in the wrong thing, aren't we? Yes, we are. So that means rotate, rotate, rotate. And we'll take it, so we got one there. And I don't think the orientation actually matters in it. However, I'm going to be safe and assume that it does. So we'll take the silicon out of all of them. Excuse me, I have some unruly house guests that must be attended to. Hey! You could have at least knocked once. I will eventually get to the door. Goodness gracious, these neighbors. Okay, so then I'll do the same for these, but also put redstone on them. Then we'll put gold on these, or at least one of them. Then we'll see how the system works. Okay, how the hell are you getting in here? I don't see anywhere that you guys can actually spawn. And you guys seem to be loving this place a little too much to just be uninvited house guests. So unless this is some sort of warp effect, you guys are finding some way in here, and I don't like it. Let's see that again. I'm going to go up here. F7's on and everything. I'm going to go over here. And somehow, you guys were there, however, you're not anymore. Okay, these are driving me crazy. So let's move onwards to the more important stuff. So, insertion. Obviously, we're going to need a few more of these because we don't want, like, bread to end up in our nice and lovely thingamabobber. Bread? No bread, so that's good. However, it doesn't seem like our redstone is inserting, and the obvious reason is because there is none. Okay, so I have two of these here, but I'm not going to bother looking at them. I'll throw the redstone. You can see that it was inserted. We got it in the center slot. Now this thing, I'm going to put it so that we have printed logic circuits going in as the input. So that means if I put 4 pieces of gold in here, we can see them get pushed. And I'll put them here anyways also, just as demonstration. All of them seem to disappear. So we got the logic processing unit. However, the automatic extraction is not there. And obvious problem right now is the fact that it's putting it all in all of them. So we just need to put the filters in properly so that we can actually have this system working. But as you can see, we have logic circuits in there ready to go, and this system is working flawlessly, or rather will work flawlessly once we get things going. Now, the only thing that we'll need to do is figure out an automated way for making the silicon. However, that's probably going to be needed for another time. And we're also going to need to get a good way to make the Certus, because, well, hopefully that's easy enough. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of EEPower. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to future episodes. Checking on the cows, and they somehow are still out. Get back here. WayofTime here. Signing off. Wow, I'm a terrible person. Ha! Have a wonderful day.